see support.
Yes, I think they should start rethinking their position, their way of thinking towards their brothers, their neighbors, their surroundings. And I think they would be rather good advised to change their position, because at a certain point, they would either have to live in a government elected by the will of the people, and they will have to stay accountable. They will be like the Jews after the Second World War. The Germans and the others had to give accounts. They will have to give accounts. And then they will be far better off and good advised to change their position and to come towards their Arab Muslims, brothers and sisters in the Middle East, in Gaza, and try to restore the situation which was actually prior to the Second World War, where Jews were living under the Arab and Muslim world in peace and harmony. And so they should rather rethink their position, because when I look around, I don't see the Europeans and others being so happy and excited to take them. So I think they would be good advised.
That is regarding your wishes and your advice. But let me ask you a straightforward question. How could this religious issue possibly play out politically within Israel?
Yeah, as I said, politically it might lead to the collapse of the current government. But I do believe, I must add to it, that when you look in the current meanings and dealings of Netanyahu and his so-called war cabinet, it is clearly that they are well aware that they are coming to an end. So Netanyahu, from his personal perspective, have to be crazy to end the war. He knows that Israel is almost over, so he has to be stupid and an idiot to step down for something which is going to be diminished and over anyhow. And therefore, I do believe that he will continue, and Israel will not exist anymore, and he will not let. He will not end the war when he sees it's anyhow heading towards a dead end.
So you want to tell me that you see Netanyahu as the last king of Israel?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, he knows that very well. No one knows it better.
What about
than
the people surrounding him? Do they know?
They know. Yes, the people surrounding in the cabinet who have access to the information know for sure. And I must add to it, and when you listen to Israeli media, all of their intelligence, the head of former intelligence, are saying exactly the same thing, that they are heading towards an end. Yeah, he knows as well as the people surrounding him, let alone in his war cabinet or cabinet, that they are heading towards a dead end, and towards the state of Israel, as we know, will not be anymore. So he will keep on to it in those circumstances, and he will probably be the one who will be diminished together with the state altogether.
How do you diagnose the disease? Is it the Jewish state or the Zionist state? And do you see an end of that ideology, which is originally an Anglican Protestant creation, at any time in the near future?
Yes, I think that starting with your first part of the question, there is a Zionist state, but as a matter of fact, you have Jews there. So it will come to an end, and the Jews will be able to live there in a democratic state where it will be the will of the people respected. And I think that even now, it's astonishing to see that even those victims now are saying that when we will deliberate our country, we will accept the Jews as Jews to live with us like before.
Your diagnosis for the disease is the fact that this state assumes a wrong ideology, which is Zionism.
Anyhow, and I think that we are heading towards the dismissal. This will be over. Also, the evangelic elements from the U.S. This is insane in its entirety. It's really nonsense. Those movements were financed from outsiders, and I think Israel is a lot behind that nonsense. And of course, this will be over simultaneously too.
So, in your view, do you believe that if Zionism came to an end, we could see a normal state of Israel, a state for all its citizens, regardless of their religion and or ethnicity?
Yes, absolutely. My answer is yes, absolutely. I think we cannot predict who will govern and how it will be. Might be a United Nations taking it over for a time being, wherever the story is. But I think that the Jews there would be better off to restore the situation with the Arab and Muslim world like it was before. I think they would have more understanding for their religious needs or tolerate them more. I think this is my practical analysis.
Politically, when do you think approximately, when do you think that ideology of Zionism is going to come to an end? Are we talking
Yes,
about years, and how many years within our lifetime? Or
I think it will be, my perception is also based not only on the biblical theological elements, that's a part for itself. If from a biblical theological point of view, it will be soon, very soon, but my answer to this is quite soon. We are not talking
how
more than
soon?
some years.
How soon?
Maybe some years, but not more. Maybe.
Do
That's
you
my understanding.
do you support the two-state solution or one state from the river to the sea for both Arabs and Jews?
I think what happened in those years were actually putting some facts on the ground that the issue of two-state or one state is actually not relevant anymore. It will be deliberated. There will be elections. People will give their say. People have to have, all of them have the right to vote. And then there will be a democratic state with mutual respect to all three monotheistic religions. And that's the way it will be. We don't need academical exercise or naming it one state and two state. We all know that there were a lot of games with those sort of names, but we should, in practical terms, there will be a liberation of Palestine and a new era coming.
So practically and realistically, you support the notion, the concept of a state from the river to the sea for all its citizens.
Yes, sure. Inshallah.
Well,
Inshallah.
Rabbi Moshe Friedman, thank you very much.